Hundreds of millions spent. Some of the brightest young stars in world football have arrived at Stamford Bridge. And now the biggest question, not just for Chelsea fans but for the entire Premier League, is this. Can this expensive attacking machine overthrow the Giants and bring Chelsea back to the very top? The Blues have just completed one of their most complete campaigns in recent memory. A fourth-place finish secured their return to the Champions League. They completed their full UEFA trophy cabinet by winning the Conference League. And most recently, they lit up the FIFA Club World Cup, crowned champions of the world. But the real statement came in the final. A commanding 3-0 victory over Paris Saint-Germain, the most informed team on the planet. Cole Palmer, unstoppable, 2 goals, and a performance that echoed far beyond the scoreboard. This is more than just a trophy. This is the beginning of a new chapter. A high-stakes gamble. A frontline revolution is underway. And under the watchful eye of Enzo Maresca, it could become Chelsea's ultimate weapon in the quest for greatness. Of course, cup competitions are one thing. Surviving the brutal, relentless grind of a Premier League season is another. To understand Chelsea's ambition, we need to rewind a little. Last season, they scored 64 league goals. Not bad at all. But their expected goals, XG, was 67.98. That tells a different story. They were creating chances, good ones, but they simply weren't clinical enough when it mattered. That's where everything changed. In the summer of 2025, after the FIFA Club World Cup, the victory over PSG wasn't just a title, it was the clearest validation yet of Enzo Maresca's vision. His Maresca ball system, once criticized as overly rigid, suddenly looked slick, purposeful, and devastating on the world stage. Fueled by that belief, Chelsea launched a full-scale attacking overhaul this summer. Noni Madueke and Jadon Sancho were shown the door, and in came a series of bold, deliberate moves. No scattergun spending. This time, each signing was laser-targeted. Liam Delap arrived from Ipswich for £30 million, a classic number 9 to provide structure and physicality up front. João Pedro was signed from Brighton for £60 million, a versatile, unpredictable forward to unlock defenses in different ways. Jamie Bino Gittins joined from Borussia Dortmund for £55 million, bringing pace, flair, and directness on the wing. And alongside them, Chelsea continued to build for the future. Estevão Willian, Giovanni Quenda, Kendry Páez, teenage talents destined to be stars. These weren't just signings for today. They were a message. Chelsea are thinking long-term. They're building something that lasts. Right now, Chelsea's system is finally starting to look like a well-oiled machine, with all the right pieces clicking into place. At the heart of it all, Cole Palmer, the conductor of this symphony. At just 22 years old, he's already become the soul of Chelsea's attack. Last season, Palmer was involved in 23 goals, with 15 goals and 8 assists in the Premier League alone. Now handed the iconic number 10 shirt, there's no doubt he is the centerpiece of this project. Under Enzo Maresca, Palmer isn't boxed into one fixed role. He often starts on the right flank but drifts inward, operating as a free-roaming number 10. It's in these central zones where his intelligence, vision, and finishing ability truly shine. His movement off the ball, combined with exquisite technical skill, forms the blueprint of how Chelsea build their play. Palmer is no longer just the future. He's the present, and everything flows through him. Then there's Liam Delap, the ruthless finisher Chelsea have been crying out for. He's not flashy, he doesn't dance around defenders, but he does what Chelsea have lacked for years. He scores goals from close range, with precision. A true penalty box striker, Delap knows how to find the spaces that matter and finish with authority. His past working relationship with both Maresca and Palmer gives him a head start in understanding the system. In many ways, he's a more clinical, more direct answer than Nicholas Jackson, and his presence brings a much-needed threat and stability inside the box. If Delap is all about directness, João Pedro is all about versatility. Signed for £60 million from Brighton, Pedro is the chameleon in Chelsea's attack. He can play up top, drop deep, or float between the lines as a second striker. He's already shown his quality on the biggest stage, with a confident, fluid display at the Club World Cup. Pedro is a connector, someone who can link midfield and attack, draw defenders out of position, and open up spaces for others to exploit. In Maresca's system, where flexible movement and midfield overloads are key, Pedro fits like a glove. And then there's Jamie Bino Gittins, the jet-fueled winger from Germany, bringing a weapon Chelsea have sorely lacked: pure pace and width. He's a classic wide man, someone who hugs the touchline, takes on defenders, and drives toward the byline with intent. His style is disruptive. He stretches defenses, creating pockets of space for Palmer and Pedro to exploit in central areas. With Bino Gittins on the pitch, Chelsea's attacks won't get too narrow or predictable. They'll always have that cutting edge from the flanks. Add to that Pedro Neto, perhaps the most Maresca-style winger you could imagine, and promising talent Tariq George, and suddenly Chelsea have real depth out wide. But questions still remain. What happens to Nicholas Jackson? Where does Christopher Nkunku fit in, if he can stay fit at all? Injuries, discipline, and consistency continue to cast shadows over their futures. Enzo Maresca's preferred system in possession is a fluid 3-2-5 shape, a transformation from the traditional 4-2-3-1 on paper. In this structure, one fullback tucks into midfield while the other shifts centrally, joining the two center-backs to form a back three. The goal is clear: dominate the middle of the pitch and create overloads in central attacking zones, giving Chelsea control, tempo, and total authority in possession. In this setup, the inverted fullbacks, like Marc Cucurella and Malo Gusto, play a pivotal role. Cucurella often steps into midfield alongside Moises Caicedo, helping Chelsea flood the central areas, control the rhythm of the game, and dictate play from deep. Enzo Fernandez acts as the deep-lying playmaker, the metronome of the side. He drops between the center-backs, spreading the ball with long diagonal passes and initiating attacks with calm precision. Caicedo, on the other hand, provides the defensive balance, covering spaces left behind by the inverting fullbacks and shielding the back line with tireless energy. Further forward, Cole Palmer drifts into the half spaces between the lines, picking up possession and driving attacks forward. This trio, Enzo, Caicedo, Palmer, forms the flexible midfield engine that allows Chelsea to suffocate opponents in central zones while maintaining dynamic attacking flow. Early on, this system faced criticism: too rigid, too predictable, especially against deep, compact defenses. But the summer signings were no accident. They were carefully chosen to add unpredictability, mobility, and finishing power. Liam Delap brings something Chelsea have lacked for years: a true old-school number 9. A pure striker, a penalty box predator who thrives on movement and finishing rather than flair. His presence adds a new vertical threat, someone who stretches defenses and punishes lapses with ruthless efficiency. Jamie Bino Gittins and Esteban Willian were signed for a very specific reason. They love cutting inside onto their stronger foot. This inside movement from wide positions is crucial. It creates central overloads, breaks the isolation of wingers, and helps penetrate low blocks that once frustrated Chelsea's build-up. Then there's João Pedro, the £60 million wildcard. Capable of playing as both a second striker and a false 9, Pedro adds flair, flexibility, and a killer instinct. He's already proven himself on the big stage with confidence, intelligence, and goals. The exact qualities this system was missing. It's a modern reimagination of Chelsea's attacking legacy. From the early 2000s days of Didier Drogba, Damien Duff, and Arjen Robben under Jose Mourinho, that fearsome, direct, powerful Chelsea, to today's version, still aggressive, still hungry, but now sculpted with tactical nuance, positional play, and technical elegance. Chelsea's 2025-26 front line can be described in one phrase: a super attack in the making. The talent is there, the variety is there, and for the first time in years, so is the vision. But turning potential into silverware, that's the real test. Injuries, consistency, pressure. These will be the true opponents Chelsea must overcome. Hundreds of millions have been spent. The blueprint is in place. The firepower is loaded. Now comes the big question. Under Enzo Maresca, can this high-octane, ultra-talented attack stay sharp, stay ruthless, and finally break the stronghold at the top of English football? The answer awaits in what promises to be one of the most dramatic seasons yet.